Hey there folks, rinimt here, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn. In the last part we did Castrum Meridianum, and now it's time to infiltrate the Praetorium. So, much like last time, the warnings. People are going to be rushing, gotta go. There's a lot of cutscenes, even more than Praetorium. And it's really back heavy in the cutscenes on this one. And yeah. I don't think we need to worry as much about possibly someone leaving. If they leave, then well, they're getting at the higher experience dungeon of these two. And that's kind of on them. So, but yeah. Rushing. Okay, let's try that again. So the other thing I've had to warn, of course, the cutscenes are going to be on autoplay. I think I did okay for the most part, as long as I was, not getting distracted, which is easy to do in these dungeons when you've already run them 1,000 times. You could probably repeat them by heart. There's someone naked. Nearly. So here we are. The ultimate weapon will almost certainly be housed in the depths of the complex. This is it, my friend. So this dungeon kind of gets nicknamed the Netflix dungeon because of the length. Yeah, it looks like someone is having some loading issues, like I said. That can happen, is about the only thing that tends to separate. So, this is definitely going to be go. So this first section, we are going to completely ignore these enemies. We aren't going to be hitting them at all. We are just going to go ahead, take that Magitech terminal, and proceed down to the next layer. However, we do need to take care of these ones. So, let us go ahead and AoE them down. Miss! I saw that game. Alright, so these key cards are going to drop. We need to pick them up and use them on the Magitech terminals and continue on. So again, we are not going to be fighting any of the coming enemies. The tanks are just going to go ahead, grab them, and run them forward. We are going to be shot at from something off in the distance. So you'll see occasional things being popping up on the ground. And so we'll want to avoid those. Also, things are getting a little destroyed in here. The first little bit is not very cutscene heavy. This is a very back heavy in terms of cutscenes dungeon. So again, we are going to go ahead and just ignore these ones. There used to be a treasure chest right there. It is now gone. They got rid of all the little treasure chests like that simply had like consumable items. Mainly to try and prevent guild sellers from getting their hands on them. Also, the person who is nearly naked is one of the tanks. Yeah, it sounds about right. So, again, we need to take care of these particular enemies to be able to get a key card and continue on. We don't have to defeat them all, just, well, most of them. So once that's picked up, let's go ahead and use it on the terminal. This door will open and we will be at our first boss. Gaius. Ah, Sid, my boy, you are late. There is something I always meant to tell you, yet the time never seemed right. It concerns your father. What of him? In the winter of his years, Midas came up to Ebor's part in Meteor. He told me that he wanted nothing more than to wash his hands of the whole sordid business. But he did not wash his hands of it. He helmed the project until the day it killed him. Come now, Sid, you must know that he did not have the luxury of choice. By the time he realized his error, it was too late. Meteor had him completely in its thrall. Shortly before his transformation, mayhap sensing that something was amiss, your father confided to me all the regrets of his life. Most of them concerned you. Early on in your career, he realized that while you had a talent for devising armaments, it will never fulfill you. Long before you knew your own mind, he saw that you would be far happier using your knowledge for peaceful purposes, and the thought touched him. He was a changed man for it, though he could not let it show. You blew holes in this place just so you could say this to me? What is it you want, Gaius? I want you to be at my side, Sid. Take up your father's mantle and become the Empire's lead engineer. It is your destiny. My father had a change of heart. You said so yourself. Besides, I have long known my destiny. I assure you, it lies not with the Empire. A pity. And what if you adventure? Will you not consider making common cause with me? With your powers joined with mine, we might do much for this realm together. We could bring order to Eorzea and usher in a lasting peace. No, and I can expect no better answer than this. So be it. It was your strength that made me proffer my hand in friendship. It is your strength that makes me proffer now my blade. Save as an ally, you are too dangerous to be let to remain. Nah, we've already taken down several of these. Run, Sid, or stay. Makes no matter. You cannot escape the past. Gaius, wait! Damn it. And here we go with the people who load faster, just so happening to hit the things first. And of course, the tanks being like, must run it to the edge. Must optimize 2 seconds of time. And there I go, getting blasted away. So, basic Colossus stuff here, really. Gonna do some swiping attacks and some Magitech ray attacks, and yeah, not really much to note here. Knowing Gaius, he's heading for the ultimate weapon. If we find him, so too will we find our quarry. With these instruments, we can monitor every nook and cranny in the castrum. I think it's time we divide our forces. Pray go and give chase. I'll track your movements from here and guide you through the complex. We'll stay in contact via Link Pearl. Be careful, alright? So now we have another small little break until we continue on with more story. And this is why it's like, oh my god, it doesn't really matter if you, like, run ahead. It looks like we have someone who's not caring to join us. They're kind of chilling back there. I'm not even gonna repeat what's going on in chat. Alright, so we've got some enemies along here. If you aggro them, they will eventually de-aggro. There used to be a chest right there as well. You'll find the discernment bulkhead. You'll need proper firepower to blast through that. Try and find another path to the armor bay. So you can get around this Colossus, however, it is more likely than not it's going to get aggroed. Just like so. But, you know, gotta go fast, and, you know, because it takes more effort to try and skip it than it does to actually just go ahead and fight it. So, let us take care of this stuff around here. There's, of course, a signifier back there that no one's really dealing with. Another key card. There ought to be an identification key reader nearby. You'll need to get complete pilot registration before you can activate an armor. So yeah, you have to be sure to interact with the identification key reader. Otherwise, you will get up here and be like, you do not have authorization. Obviously, you can jump on to the side of this here, because I like doing that. It's fun. Anyways, up here we've got... Could it be? Let's strap into the Magitech armor. Ah, there she is! I trust you recognize our old friend Maggie, was it? They must have shipped her here from Century. Considering all she's been through, it's a wonder she's still operational. Tough old girl. Now that you're suitably armed, you can blast open that bulkhead. The external walkway will take you back there. Which is conveniently blasted open. I mean, we probably could have just blasted it open otherwise. Follow till you come upon a way down to the lower level. So we need to... We have two actions here. I haven't really explained it. So we have some actions in our hotbar now. Right now we have Magitech Cannon, which fires at a specific ground targeting thing here, or you have the Photon Stream, which is just a basic attack like so. Overall, you are far better off using the first one because it just does more damage, even though you do have to target it. Once you get your mouse in place, it will just do like so. For being all rush, they sure aren't willing to do this particular mechanic, are they? No, like, literally doesn't speed up for them. Because they still have to wait for us. You know. Anyways, we're descending to the research level. So, we're going to be writing this for a little while here. And as we go on, we're going to find these Magitech Death Claws. Need to take care of them. But we're also going to find Proto-Ultimate Arm units. If you are too close, you will get bonked away just like so. There are some safe spots you can be in. to not get bonked away, but I find it easier, much easier to stand at a distance and shoot. So this is kind of what we've evolved into now. Basically playing a shooter, right? Basically like a shooter. I don't really play them, mainly because they make me sick and I'm just not that into them. Like, I played Tomb Raider, okay, but that's like the extent of what I played. I'm really running ahead here. So here we're gonna actually have to deal with 2 arms back to back. So the first one, this is where it can really get you if you like try and do that and someone is almost dying from trying to do that thing. Like, it can really get you if you like try and be up there, and yeah. Anyways, let's go ahead and blast away at this glass door. Yet another one. And I don't know why someone got off. Doesn't save time. That bow is composed of a special alloy, extremely tough. Ordinary fire won't leave a mark, I'm afraid. You'll need to divert all power to the Magitech Canyon, as I did so memorably once before. As you may recall, the armor's core is like to expire from the strain, but there's no help for it if we want to press on. Now listen well, press the control, engage until fire away. Don't mind the warning lights. I hope I got all that right. Hooray! Thanks, Maggie. You're a natural at this. Alright, the way's clear, but it's just you and your own 2 feet now, so be careful. So yeah, on the topic of, like, from before, how, like, you could totally get a dungeon ruined for you if, say, people were like, oh my god, gotta run ahead, skip the cutscenes, etc. I watched the cutscenes my first time through here, and it was basically back-to-back cutscenes. I never got to catch up with the group, and it was a miserable time. Just absolutely miserable. You have been leaving a fine mess in your wake, adventurer. Someone there? Garland, old friend, how it warms the heart to hear your voice again after all these years. Nero, is that you? You sound well. It would seem the Salvage Land agrees with you. The highest ranking tribunus of the 14th. It was you all this time? Tell me, Garland, how long do you intend to keep all the glory for yourself? What? You've lost me. Don't play the fool with me. Ever since the Academy, I have been condemned to live in your shadow. By all objective measure, I was the more talented of the 2 of us, yet that fact counted for naught beside your privileged birth. You were admired as a young prodigy simply because your father was the great Midas non-Garland. When he defected, I sure felt to her my star would finally something, Dumbo. But by disappearing, you acquired the status of a legend, your reputed genius gaining credence merely by dint of your absence. Instead of cursing you for a traitor, the people actually came to think of you more fondly. To this day, you are still the young prodigy of Magitech. I, meanwhile, have ever been made to feel second-rate. I, who have continued to serve our nation faithfully. Whenever I fail to excel, why, it is only to be expected. Yet when I exceed all reasonable expectations, people proclaim that I walk in the footsteps of the great Cid, non-bloody Garland. Nero, I don't know what to say. It matters not a whit what I achieve. Your existence has rendered mine worthless. Even Lord von Balsar saw fit to offer you a place at his side, and this in spite of your betrayal. Do you extend any such offer to me, the man who has remained loyal to him for all these years? Why, no, he did not. Long have I endured this injustice, but no more. Lord von Baelsar is in the midst of activating the fully powered Ultima weapon. It is my magnum opus, the creation that will win me the recognition I am due. I will not let anyone interfere. Nero, what are you? Ever since I first set foot in this benighted land, I have watched you, every move you have made, every step you have taken. So you saw me killing shrews? You have filled icons, a feat made possible by the Echo, a peculiar power which shields you from their corrupting influence. It's of little wonder that my lord has taken an interest in you. As have I, if truth be told. It is my desire to harness your power for use in the Ultima weapon. Shall I succeed, Lord von Baelsar will surely take notice. Besides this, Carlin's achievements will not be child's play. Come, adventurer, and yield to me the secret of your power. Of course, the tank's already run way ahead. Like so. So, this is Nero Tolskeva. What often happens when the tank isn't like, oh my god, gotta run, they will let a ranged damage dealer do their limit break against him, because your limit break gauge does get reset going into this particular battle, and it had filled leading up to this. So he's gonna do a bunch of different attacks, but the most important thing is the edge of the arena is electrified. So if you happen to go into it, you will start taking damage. Also, he's going to be spawning these Magitech Death Claws to chase after someone, start doing damage to them, knock them into the electrification, and kind of just knock them all over the place. So, and of course the tank is like, let's just let him knock me into the electrification, whatever. But yeah, my first time through here was awful. This changes nothing, because people were like, gotta rush ahead. And I pretty much wasn't actually able to do anything until like the third to last fight, because I was just in the cutscenes constantly. Like I would end one, start another, and because they'd be so far ahead, and I got to experience nothing. And the Ultima weapon is activated and brims with the power of icons. Nothing can withstand its might. And yeah, it was like, ugh, just awful. So my next time through, I was so lost because I hadn't done it. Are you all right? What of Nero? Damn it. In the instant prior to the blackout, the instruments detected a massive power surge from the deepest chamber. Gaius is certain to be there. We've no time to waste. Word arrived from the Alliance a short while ago. It seems the Order of the Twin Adders completed its blockade of Castrum Sentry. What hands they can spare are hastening this way even as we speak, and likewise for the Maelstrom. All that's left is to destroy the Ultima weapon. I should warn you, the chamber which houses the target appears to be saturated with etheric energies. There's bound to be heavy interference. But even if we lose contact, you must go on. Just don't do anything I wouldn't do, alright? So we are going to want to kind of rush up here because they're trying to dismiss someone who's definitely not AFK, which is an abuse of the system, actually. I don't have the voice anymore!
Look for the lips control panel. It'll be somewhere nearby. Take the lip down and you should find yourself in the chamber of the Ultima Weapon. Keep your eyes peeled. Gaius could be waiting for you down there. Oh, and don't even think about Don. You're too bloody useful. The interference is getting worse. I don't think the connection lost much.
Tell me, for whom do you fight? How very glib. And do you believe in Eorzea? Eorzea's unity is forged of falsehoods. Its city-states are built on deceit. And its faith is an instrument of deception. It is not but a cobweb of lies. To believe in Eorzea is to believe in nothing. In Eorzea, the beast tribes often summon gods to fight in their stead, though your comrades only rarely respond in kind. Which is strange, is it not? Are the 12 otherwise engaged? I was given to understand they were your protectors. If you truly believe them your guardians, why do you not repeat the trick that served you so well at Cartano and call them down? They will answer, so long as you lavish them with crystals and gorge them on ether. Your gods are no different from those of the beasts. Icons, every one. Except but this, and you will see how Eorzea's faith is bleeding the land dry. Nor is this unknown to your masters, which prompts the question, why do they cling to these false deities? What drives even men of learning, even the great Louis Soir, to grovel at their feet? The answer? Your masters lack the strength to do otherwise. For the world of man to mean anything, man must own the world. To this end, he hath fought ever to raise himself through conflict, to grow rich through conquest. And when the dust of battle settles, it is ever the strong who dictate the fate of the weak. Knowing this, but a single path is open to the impotent ruler, that of false worship, a path which leads to innovation and death. Only a man of power can rightly steer the course of civilization, and in this land of creeping mendacity, that one truth will prove its salvation. Come, champion of Eorzea, face me. Your defeat shall serve as proof of my readiness to rule. It is only right that I should take your realm, for none among you has the power to stop me.
So the reason I wanted to make sure to get on that elevator before that cutscene got triggered is because otherwise you're left behind and then have to go ahead and interact and all that nonsense. So, welcome to the Gaius fight. It's pretty simple overall, really. He does a lot of blah blah blah. He's gonna eventually put a puddle on the ground that's gonna do bleeding damage. like so. It used to be that you would have to drag him out of this and around and about. And as you might have guessed, that's no longer done. He can teleport around the arena, and then he'll do like a attack that will target after someone, but you can avoid it because it stays in place and then just goes in a straight line. But of course you don't see any of that anymore. Except the puddle.
I had not thought to be so hard-pressed. Your strength is most impressive. Such power befits a ruler. Yet, you lack the resolve to put it to proper use. A waste.
Well, I think we found our target. So you don't actually have to move out through this. You just need one person to run up and investigate the thing that's... the gate that is up here. The entryway.
Allow me, then, hero, to do that which you will not. To the true power of the Ultima weapon.
So for the start of this fight, we can't actually really do anything because he's got such an impenetrable shield up. So, of course, someone's already... Ultimate Weapon is partaking the power of the icons none can stand against. So it's gonna say, of course, our little buddy has already gone ahead and run ahead. And there's always people who are like, must go hit boss. Even if we're doing like 2 damage with our attack. The other part of this, of course, is that the tanks cannot gain aggro properly. So it starts running all over the place, which often ends up it going for the tanks. Or not the tanks, going for the healer. Hearken unto me, Crystal Bearer, thy foe is the darkness clad. That was look to the light. Alright, so once you see that line, that means you can officially start actually damaging Ultimate Weapon. So, you may remember the Ultimate Weapon has the power of the 3 primals. So, we are going to be seeing attacks from all 3 primal fights. So, like thus, we saw Ifrit's not back and also has some attacks of its own in terms of stuff like Truly Event. And the thing is, every time you see Highland says that, you get a heal of MP anyway. And so, as we damage Ultimate Weapon here, it is going to... we are basically going to free the different powers of the primals from it. So now, it can no longer do the power of Garuda. Even though we never actually saw any of Garuda moves. It would have done like the whirlwind on the outside. And yeah, so it just lost Titan. However, it was already in the process of using one of Titan's skills there. Doing an Ifrit attack on the outside and a Titan attack on the inside. So now all that's really left is the Ifrit moves, which it can be like Eruption, and we aren't really going to see any of them. You used to have to actually like limit break this and all that nonsense. And once it hits 0.1% up here, you don't have to do anything. It is dead. You're just kind of waiting for cutscenes essentially to play in the battle.
But the ultimate weapon is all-powerful.
Why does my enemy still stand? Like I said, I've seen this way too many times I could repeat it by heart.
Can her strength truly be so great?
It is the blessing of light that confounds you.
La Brea.
Your foe acts under the protection of the crystal she bears.
So, this is what empowers her.
Beyond mortal limits. If you are to prevail, the hammer of darkness must needs be brought to bear upon the shield of light. And so it shall, for the ultimate weapon is host to a power of which you are as yet ignorant.
Speak plainly, Ascian.
The heart of Sabik. It is the weapon's core, an enigma whose surface even the vaunted scholars of ancient Aleg failed to scratch. The magic within has lain dormant for eons.
Of what magic do you speak?
A spell without parallel. Ultima. I sought the life force of the primals for no other reason but to quicken the core. For the true power of the Ultima weapon lies within its now beating heart.
La Brea, what have you done?
No more than was necessary for my god to be reborn.
Damn you, Ascian.
The hour is at hand. Behold but a sliver of my god's power. And from the deepest pit of the seven hells to the very pinnacle of the heavens, the world shall tremble. Unleash Ultima!
Such devastation! This was not my intention!
Oh, Hydaelyn. It seems the task of keeping your champion alive has exhausted what strength you had left. Van Belsar, your enemy's shield is broken. The rest I leave to you.
We will speak later, Ascian. But first, I must deal with you. The question of who is mightier remains. Come, adventurer. Let us find the answer together.
Oh, I forgot to turn off the sound. My bad. Good thing post-editing exists, right? Yes. Probably by the time I load, it's already gonna be pulled, right? Yep. Just like so. So, this is the Ultima weapon. Again. So this time around, it does not have the power of the primals. And it also doesn't have that initial shield that we need to deal with. So, it's gonna do the, gonna do those laser attacks. It's also gonna summon these magic bits. You can take them out, but it's just gonna slow down the fighting. So let's not do as such. It's also gonna be dropping these cannons down on us. Ideally, you get away from them. They are a proximity sort of thing, like Titan had done back when. But you don't necessarily have to. So yeah, really because you just kind of end up ignoring all the different magic bits that are about. Yeah. Anyways, if you take long enough, when it hits around 5%, Ultima will teleport away and then start casting Ultima. This is a DPS race. Yes, it was actually DPS race back when. Sorry guys, I need to actually explain this part. But yeah, so it starts slowly casting Ultima, and you have to defeat it before it finishes casting. Of course, we didn't even see that here because, well, yeah.
Heed me. The subjects of a weak ruler must needs look to a higher power for providence, and their dependence comes at a cost to the realm. The misguided elevate the frail, and the frail lead the people astray. Unless a man of power wrests control, the cycle will never be broken. You of all people must see the truth in this. You who have the strength to rule.
Pathetic. You boasted of unrivaled power. You were entrusted with the ultimate weapon, the ultimate magic. And still, you failed. So much for the glory of man. The growing imbalance afflicting the planet must be redressed. If it is permitted to worsen, the very laws of existence, both etheric and physical, will be warped beyond all recognition. Know you the root of this corruption? Hydaelyn. Like a parasite, she must be burned out if the planet is to recover. And not but the return of the one true god will ensure her complete excision. Yet, to pave the way for the Master's return, a chaotic confluence of untold proportions must needs be brought about. And that will necessitate the presence of the primals. Needless to say, both you and your scion accomplices cannot be suffered to interfere in this endeavor. You will not leave this place alive.
I think I will. Because this fight is a joke.
It is past time your flame was extinguished.
Throat. I appreciate this right now.
Right.
So yeah, this fight is a giant joke. So the big things to keep in mind here is he's going to be turning all over the place, and of course it's already pulled, and I'm still loading. So he's going to be turning all over the place, but yeah, he does have positionals, unfortunately. Yeah, dude, you're like, so this tank was all like, oh my gosh, you're slowing down the stuff. Now he's like, not even up here tanking. He's just over there ranged attacking as a tank. So he's gonna put these pools on the ground, much like the boss of Zamel. He's also gonna do these occasional knockback attacks. And once he hits 1.1%, he'll eventually die. If he tries to start using Shadow Flare, and yeah. So much like with Castrum, this is the only skippable cutscene now. It's the one at the very, very end. Apologies for the noises. I've been working on word searches during the voice cutscenes, because I have seen these so many times. Like, oh my gosh, I've seen them way too many times now.
If thou wouldst pierce the shadows, make thee a blade of light.
What? Light. It binds them. They are too many.
Bye, everyone. So, before I exit here, we are about to hit the ending of the original base game version 2.0, which means there are going to be credits. I'm going to take that chance to take a bit of a stretch break, and at least if I'm remembering right, I don't remember if we have to run around or anything, but I'm pretty sure we just go smack right into it. So, but of course we aren't done. We are nowhere near done. We are barely even starting, honestly. We've got many patches to go for Realm Reborn. We've got 3 expansions so far to get through, and all the patches for them, and we have a lot to go. But for now, let's go ahead and exit Praetorium. I barely got a commendation.
And so my conquest ends, Cid. In smoke and ashes.
Hear, feel, think. Warrior of light, beloved daughter. The darkness hath fled before the unclosed brilliance of thy spirit. Yet it lingereth still beyond the sight of men, in forgotten corners of the world. In the depths of the abyss yet resideth the Dark One, watchful ever, till this evil be cast out. Never shall the world know aught but a passing peace. Yet for the present, a gentle light shineth o'er the realm of Eorzea. With thee at its heart. From sparkling moat shall it swell to glorious sun, and all the world shall bask in its warmth. Blessings and joy be upon thee. Go forth, my child, and be as a beacon of hope for Eorzea and the lands beyond through all the days of thy life.
My lady, All Twin Adder units have fallen back to the outer perimeter.
The Flames have completed their withdrawal, General.
Admiral, all hands accounted for.
She's still in there.
Sid, has there been no word?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Damnation!
She's going to make it, I know she is.
Ida is right. We must have faith.
Sid, can they not be evacuated aboard the Enterprise? That adventurer and the Scions are as the Warriors of Light reborn. We cannot abandon them to their fate. Not again.
I wholeheartedly agree, but flying into the midst of that would only add to the fireworks.
There must be something we can do.
Please, Mother Hydaelyn. Please light her way through the darkness.
Look into the light, my child. If thou would see thy companions return safe to thee, reach out to them now.
There!
Oh!
Yay! Our Warrior of Light.
Yes! The hero returns!
Look! Thancred is with her!
Thank the 12!
Thank Hydaelyn.
Welcome home. You almost got us killed that one time, remember?
Now, we both know that was your fault.
Thank the 12 we're safe.
Mind your horns there, man-bull.
Mayhap when you mind your manners.
Though the crystal that bound Thancred is no more, I doubt we can say the same of La Habrea. And even if we could, we know that he is not alone. Confounded Ascians. Their god may be unknown to us, but their zeal is unquestionable. Suffice it to say, it would be folly to assume that they no longer pose a threat. Nevertheless, for now, we must savor what peace we have won, however ephemeral. Do you see, Grandfather? Our first step towards realizing the dream for which you gave your life.
Friends, the dread night of Imperial tyranny and Asian machination is ended. A new day now begins in Eorzea.
True to their name, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, along with our champion, have delivered us from darkness.
Let their shared victories serve to remind us of our shared history. And let their bravery in the face of adversity inspire future generations.
Doubt not, the realm will need bravery in the days to come. Old rifts threaten to divide us within our walls, while hordes of beastmen claw at our gates. And though the Black Wolf be slain, the rest of the pack remains. Yet no foe need we fear, so long as we stand as one.
So long as the Scions stand for peace.
So long as our champion stands fast. For there exists no adversity over which we may not jointly prevail.
No longer can we turn a blind eye to the suffering of our allies.
No nation stands alone. If one should fall, so shall we all. Eorzea is our shared home. For any one of us to know peace, so too must our neighbor.
Just as we join in solidarity before you this day, so too shall our grand companies be joined henceforth to strive not only for the good of mere nations, but for the good of all the realm.
Change will not come overnight. Yet I foresee a day, not so very far from now, when the lines that divide our lands fade, and all of Eorzea is one.
It has been but 5 short years since the Battle of Cartano. 5 years since the advent of the 7th Umbral Era. No victory, however sweet, can wash away our bitter sorrows. No triumph can reclaim those we lost. Yet do not presume you honor them by dwelling on the past. It was not the past they fought for. You would repay their sacrifice by looking to the future.
A future united, as the warriors of light united in the champion.
Now is the time for us to rise as one, bearing all of Eorzea on our shoulders.
5 years ago, Eorzea bore witness to the end of the 6th Astral Era. Now, the 7th Umbral Era draws to a close, yet we come together not to glory in its end, but to mark a new beginning.
Let it be writ that on this day, by the light of the crystal, Eorzea ushered in a new era. The 7th Astral Era is come! And thus is ours a realm reborn! Shining is the land's light of justice. Ever flows the land's well of purpose. Walk free, walk free, walk free. Believe the lamb's alive. So believe.
trust unto tomorrow. In one fleeting moment from the land of life glow. Yet in one fleeting moment for a new gift doth grow. In the same fleeting moment must live, die, and know.
What is it?
What was that?
That roar. It can't be.
Did you hear that?
There's no time to spare.
Where is it coming from?
Dread tidings! Chaos and carnage! It is an abomination! A primal has awakened!
Kas Bahamul move.
One Azaz move star.
Fanza Lokpai ki Hads Haldorn Zur Ukdorn. We next starve Chemuv. They only cause the pause right ball.
And thus did dawn break on a realm reborn. But where there is light, there is always shadow. Get my log window back. I had to hide it because I accidentally pulled it up. Hearing all that. Yay! Clap, 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 clap. Oh my gosh, this is so long. So many credits. And then I had to skip all the 1.0 players list, and it's like, oh my gosh. More! More! The Archons have conducted a preliminary investigation into the origin of that roar that rang out during the celebration, and their findings strongly suggest that a new primal has appeared. The roar generated a distinctive wave pattern in the aether, pattern observed only once before in history, 5 years ago to be precise. I should like to think a mere coincidence, yet we cannot discount the possibility. Well, I trust I need say no more. At great sacrifice, we've delivered Eorzea from the threat posed by the Empire and the Primals, and thereby secured peace. We cannot well allow the realm to be plunged into chaos once more. You have given your all for our cause, risking life and limb on I know not how many occasions. Your struggle continues, and we need you now, no less than before. Please continue to stand with us, and together we shall safeguard the future of the realm, of this very star. Flying? Unlocked! You can now fly while mountain, Lanasia, Thonalin, Black Shroud, court the Central Highlands, and Mordona. Take flight, simply jump, while mounted. Yay! So this actually didn't used to unlock until Heaven's Word. But now it's here. However, I am not going to be starting this story quest because that is 2.5 1 right there. We finished 2.0. Yay! So, before I call it, because oh my god, this is a 2-hour video, because freaking forever credits. We've got quests in here. Rion J has some. We've got some rather random quests. Do you have anything else cool for me? No. Yeah, Primal Fear. So, we do still have a bunch to do. We've got Beast Tribes to do. We've got all the 2.0 content to do. I'm gonna, like, spread Beast Tribes out because you can only do so many per day and blah, blah, blah. But for now, I think I am going to teleport back to Ul'dah. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to Ul'dah. And I think I'm gonna call it good here. I need to kind of really plot out how I'm going to do the next bit, because I do... So, what I'm basically planning on doing is finish or get through, like, what would have been each patch's content before I progress on to the story of the next patch. So, like, before I progress on to what would be patch 2.1, I want to go ahead and do what would have been available for 2.0, and then do 2.1, then do what was available for 2.1, and so on, until we finish up and get to Heaven's Word. So, we have another quest here, the Rise and Fall of Gentlemen. That's one I won't actually be doing until we beat the Realm Reborn story fully. And I still need to rank up in my dang Grand Company. So, oh, I know what I should have done rather than stole. So another thing we've also unlocked now is we've unlocked the Duty Roulette main scenario. This is what I was meaning when I mentioned the experience in terms of those 2 dungeons. I'm like, oh my gosh, brains right now too from recording for so long in a row. I was getting hungry. I'm like, oh, I don't want to leave during credits. But yeah, so what was I talking about? Oh yeah, do the roulette main scenario. That's what I was talking about in terms of the experience on them. And yeah, we've also got stuff here that's from later patches, and I'll be trying to spread them out over when they would be. I do have a list of what was when, but oh my god, we can fly! So there is a height limit, as you can see. It actually yells at you that you've hit it before you've actually hit it, but you'll start seeing this little wall here when you actually have hit it, and even when you start going below, it's like, what are you doing? But yeah, so I will spread things out and experience main scenario. As I'm like seriously branching. And another thing we've also unlocked is these tombstones. So this unlocked when we started doing the those last couple of dungeons. These allow us to purchase items here in Mordona, or I believe they've also added the ability in city-states, or in the cities. And it's how you basically get your gear at each level cap. I don't remember which NPC it is, this one. So, as you can see here, we have these augmented pieces. Let's narrow this down to monk. And the cost depends on what slot it's on. Body and legs will be the more expensive ones. They've also got belts and head and all that, and also accessories. Accessories are always on the cheaper side. And yeah, so this is basically like gonna be some of your top gear for that particular level. It's the easiest to get top gear and so on. It used to be you couldn't get the augmented straight up, but now they've finally made it so that you can at the non-level cap levels, which is nice. I don't know if you can tell that I'm just like right now. I'm just like trying to kind of dip my toes into what's unlocked at this point. But yeah, so I should probably, like, let's look at an item comparison here. It's like insane the difference between, say, an item level 90, which is what we're in right now, and 130, which is what we could get if I bought the Scaros, which I probably actually will. So the other thing I'm probably gonna do now that I have beat the 2.0 story is I am gonna probably start a crafter. I'll do like I'll do the quests and stuff, of course, in recording, so I'll probably work on that next time, and then I just want to get him to 30 at least so I can unlock desynthesis, which I've been really wanting to get, so I can do something with all this gear in my inventory. So I'm gonna go ahead and buy this armor piece now. So anyways, oh gosh, I am like so just from 2 hours of recording here in a row after doing everything else, but it's like I want to do it. And I have no one to blame but myself. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Next time we will start delving into what was originally the end game of patch 2.0 which will take at least several videos because there is quite a bit to kind of unpack in terms of that. So yeah, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, I know it was a long one, but it's what happens when you hit an ending, right? If you enjoyed it, consider liking, commenting, and or subscribing. If you really enjoy it, consider supporting the channel. All support really helps there keep being content like this and more. And it just helps me really do what I enjoy doing, which is this. You can find links for that in the description, along with links to me on social media. So, thank you again for watching. I'm also just, I don't know if you know this, but I'm not really doing my normal spiel during credits, because it's not really an ending in this game per se, because there isn't really an end. So, yeah, thank you all for watching again, and until next time, this is rinimt zonking out. Whoa.